Okay, Switch predictions right before the Switch gets announced. Let's see how many Switch predictions I can get right. My first prediction is that it's going to be announced in March. I mean, that's pretty obvious. That one's not even a crazy prediction. March is a pretty obvious time. They could have really announced it in January, but they, for whatever reason, Nintendo is stalling on announcing the next Switch. I don't really know why. Could be because they want to just squeeze out the last few sales of Switches, the current Switch, while they still can. But a March announcement is actually a March announcement really makes sense because Nintendo's fiscal year ends in March. And if they announce a new product, an exciting new product right before the end of their fiscal year, they can have a very high stock jump going into the next fiscal year. So that puts them at a very nice advantage if they announce in March. It's very convenient for them to be able to announce in March. And I think they do investor meetings quarterly, so I don't know if it's quarterly or monthly, I don't know. But if they have, let's say they have an investor meeting April 1st, because it's starting the next fiscal year, they can then start going into details with investors about what the next system will be, how much they plan to sell, stuff like that. They don't want to say that right now because these meetings are public. So if they start talking about, oh yeah, we have new hardware, blah blah blah, then the secret's out. And even though everybody knows that Nintendo to this point does not want to admit they don't want to admit that they're making the next Switch. So if they wait for March, then they can actually start talking about it. But that won't be very many details. It'll be vague details. And as when it comes to the trailer, that trailer is probably it's gonna be like the Nintendo Switch first look trailer that they did back in 2016. It's just gonna be a general like, oh look, this is what the product looks like. This is some footage of people using it. It's just gonna be a very simple trailer. There's not gonna be anything about price tag or release date or what games are coming out. That I'm gonna say they're saving that for June. And even though E3 isn't a thing anymore, June is still a pretty big time for video games. I think Summer Game Fest is in June. And a lot of announcements still happen in the summer. So it would make sense for Nintendo to do some sort of presentation where they actually go into detail about what the next system is. They'll do that in June. And then in that presentation, they'll announce at some point between September and November, more likely closer to November, but possibly as early as September. That'll be when it comes out. That'll be the release date, sometime in late September to mid-November. I don't think they would do it any sooner or later. It just wouldn't make sense. And the console makers typically go for November. If you look back in each generation, it's usually November. Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, they've been very consistent about November launches. It could be earlier. The GameCube came out in Japan in September, I think. So it's possible. They could go for an earlier date. It's not very likely, but by November, you would expect it to be out by November. Specs. When it comes to specs, the few spec details, rumors, blah blah blah, whatever I've seen, the few rumors that I've seen are pointing to being pretty weak. It's not even gonna be like it's gonna be at most PS4 Pro level, which even then I think that's generous because wasn't there the guy from Activision saying that it's more like a regular PS4 than a PS4 Pro? Regardless, it's not gonna be it's not even gonna be it's probably not gonna be Xbox Series S level. That will be more powerful, but it'll be somewhere within the range of PS4 to PS4 Pro. And with Nintendo being Nintendo and them always knowing how to make games look good on old hardware, the games will still look good. It won't be bad in terms of looks, but for third parties, that's probably not going to be that good because third parties just struggle with Nintendo hardware, at least to make the games look good. I mean, look at Mortal Kombat 1 on Switch, horrendous. Hogwarts Legacy on Switch, horrendous. Some of these late third party games are pretty sad. It's honestly surprising that they're even on the Switch, but regardless, they're sad. Hopefully though, the next Switch is like it's there at least. I don't know. PS4 level really. Either way, I guess they can't go much further above PS4 because that would make it really expensive. And price, I'll get into price in a minute. But if PS4 price would be PS4 price handheld is already really expensive. If you look at the Steam Deck, the base model Steam Deck right now, um, even if you go for the 64 gig, like the while supplies last, they're still selling that older model Steam Deck. That's 350 right now. And this is supposed to be a brand new Nintendo system. 350 for PS4 power and a Steam Deck probably means that Nintendo can't push the hardware that much further without also raising the price. So, speaking of price, the price is going to be pretty sad. The regular Switch right now it's still $300 after 7 years, after almost 7 whole years since the first Switch came out. It's still $300. The OLED is still 350. The Switch Lite is 200. You would think that price drops would have happened by now, but they're probably saving that for when the next system comes out. Because the Switch has been selling strong too. Even with its current price, it's like there's been no need for Nintendo to reduce the price. So what is the price going to be? It's going to be $400. Probably very likely going to be $400. $400. And why would they do $400? It's really easy for them to do $400 price. Here's why. MKBHD explains this price ladder thing. I don't, is that what he calls it? Price ladder? I can't remember. A price ladder with the iPads. Apple has, say, one iPad, say the regular iPad. You want the regular iPad with 64 gigs. You just want a regular iPad. You don't really care. And that one's like, I don't know, let's say it's $300, even though I'm pretty sure it's more. Whatever. Whatever. It's $300, but it's 64 gigs, and you know you're gonna fill that up super quick, and then you're gonna be annoyed because you need more storage, so you can't get that one. You need to get the 256 gig, and for some reason there's no 128, but whatever. At 256, that one's $400. And then you look at the next model up is the iPad Air, and that one's 450. And if you're about to spend 400 on a regular iPad, just get the Air for the extra $50. Just get the iPad Air. That makes more sense. He explains this way better. Just look it up, the MKBHD price ladder. There's some video on it. He explains this way better. But basically, Nintendo has set up a beautiful price ladder strategy with the current three models. Okay, most people, let's just say, matter of fact, let's just say you're a regular person and you're gonna go into GameStop, you're gonna go into Walmart, whatever. You're looking for the Switch. You just want a Switch. You want to get your kid a Switch. So you want one that connects to the TV. So the guy is explaining to you, okay, the Switch Lite, it's 200, but it doesn't connect to the TV. But the regular Switch is 300, but it does connect to the TV. You're gonna go for the regular one. But then the guy also explains that the OLED model is just an extra $50, and for that extra $50, you get the double the storage, you get the OLED screen, it's the beautiful OLED screen, and that's pretty good for extra $50. You might as well get it, right? So okay then, yeah, sure. And that's how you push people up in price. You just get a little bit of price bump with some features that justify it, and then from there you can build a price ladder. So if we continue this, let's say the next system is 400 and you're thinking about getting a Switch and then you're like, "Oh, you know what? The OLED's just $50 more and it's way better for $50. I might as well just get that one." But then let's say the Switch 2 is out and then that one's just $50 more than the OLED. You know what? You might as well just get the brand new Switch too. It's the brand new system. It's got all the features, and the next generation is the future of Switch. For just the extra $50 on that, you might as well just go all in and get the new Switch. It's a beautiful price ladder right there. I mean, that's very effective business right there. So 400, it just makes even if they did $100 price cut on each system, it's still very easily justified for the customer to just spend the extra 100 on the brand new system. Why get the old system? Okay, let's say the OLED is 250 and the new one's wait, 250? No, they're not gonna do that actually, no. That's not what I predict. Actually, that is not a prediction of mine. Scrap that. That's not what they're gonna do. What they're gonna do is they're gonna launch the new system at 400. And then the Switch Lite everything will get a $50 price cut. The Switch Lite will go from 200 to 150. The regular Switch will be a 300 to 250, and the OLED will be 350 to 300. And from there, it's will be very easy to justify, hey, customer, you can get this one for this price, but if you spend a little bit extra, you could get this one. But since you're spending extra, you might as well just go all in. It's it's gonna be very easy for Nintendo to do this. And given that they haven't to this day have not given the price cut, any price cut, any price cut to any Switch model, it's not a very crazy prediction to say it's gonna launch at 400. So yeah, that sucks because the regular Switch launched at 300, but the more hardware, more it's more expensive. There's inflation, of course. Everything has inflation these days. It's just all this with all the like stuff that's happened since the Switch came out. 400 just it kind of just makes sense. The controllers. How will they change the controller? Well, apparently this new system's supposed to have an 8-inch screen, and if it has an 8-inch screen, well, it's gonna need to be bigger. Look at the Switch OLED. It's 7 inches, and that fills up pretty much the whole body of the system. So it's gonna have an 8-inch screen, which means that it's gonna have a bigger body, which means the controllers will be bigger, and so the old Joy-Cons won't work. Instead, you have new Joy-Cons, they'll be bigger. Hopefully, very likely, they're gonna update the sticks, so there's no stick drift, no more Joy-Con drift. And hopefully the sticks have better range. Like if you've ever used a Joy-Con, like you push that and it feels like it doesn't really move anywhere. It's like you're pushing really hard to try to get that movement on the stick. They'll have better sticks, I imagine. Otherwise, it'll probably just be mostly the same. Hopefully they get rid of that motion control stuff. I mean, like HD Rumble, no, who used that? Barely any games use that. That's just like useless parts that don't need to be in there. Hopefully they put the money they're saving on taking that stuff out and they put that towards like more better sticks, better joysticks, better what do you call those, analog sticks? Whatever. So the last Joy-Cons, they're not gonna work. You're gonna need to get new ones. Of course they'll come with the system, but if you want more. Will the previous Joy-Cons connect wirelessly? Maybe. Hopefully. Probably. Probably. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Would they let you use the previous Joy-Cons? Hopefully all of your old controllers, pro controllers, third-party controllers, hopefully they work. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? In terms of controllers, there's gonna be a new controller. Hopefully it's better. Other features, is it gonna be backwards compatible? For some reason, there's debate on this. I don't know why. It's gonna be backwards compatible. Then I don't think Nintendo would be silly enough to think that they could get away with reselling every game that you bought because okay, they got away with it with the Wii U. Like 90% of the Wii U's best games are on the Switch as a separate game. Even if you bought it on Wii U, you gotta get it again. And if they're like $60, right? Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, Pikmin 3, what else? Super Mario 3D World, Smash Brothers, which that's not a version of Smash 4, but it's Smash 5 replaces Smash 4. So even if you had Smash 4, but you get the idea. All these games that were on the Wii U, and maybe you get the deluxe version on Switch. It has a little bit more content. I don't think they're gonna try to pull that again. They're gonna want you to carry over your library, and if you can carry over your library, that incentivizes you to get the new system because all your old games work and you'll have the new games. I definitely don't think Nintendo would not have backwards compatibility at a software digital side. Maybe physical games won't work, but I also think that's unlikely because Nintendo is very like physical focused. Like I think they're more physical than digital. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but if let's just say this, if they had backwards compatibility for your software that you downloaded digitally, why wouldn't they also let you use your physical games? I feel like that would anger enough people that they wouldn't want to do that because that would be like bad PR for them. That would be bad business. It would look bad for them. They wouldn't do that. Your Switch Online subscription. Is your Switch Online subscription going to carry over? Probably, yeah. It would be weird if it didn't. Obviously, the Wii U, obviously, is that very obvious? Why are you saying obviously? What? The Wii U, if you had Nintendo Network Online account, that did not carry over. You have to make another account for Switch. I don't think Nintendo wants to have. Actually, there's some graph that shows where Nintendo's like, oh look, we had Nintendo Network with the 3DS and Wii U, and then we introduced the My Nintendo account with the Switch, and we want to continue this My Nintendo account We want users to use this account in the future for future stuff. It's some random graph. Basically, it shows that they want to move forward with the My Nintendo account. They're not gonna have people's stuff reset. And if they're not gonna have their account reset, they're probably not gonna have their games reset, and they're not gonna have subscriptions reset. It's just gonna be new hardware. When it comes to backwards compatibility, will the games look better? I hope there's like 1080p 60 frames for Breath of the Wild. Because Breath of the Wild runs at 30 on Switch, and Tears, they run at 30. Hopefully they can do like some 60 FPS, even if it's not 1080, it's just do some 60 FPS for that. Other games like Mario Kart already runs at 1080, right? I don't think there's gonna be 4K. That's another thing. When specs, I already said PS4 to PS4 Pro. PS4 Pro was barely pushing 4K 30 on some games. So this Switch system is not gonna have 4K. That sucks. It's been years since 4K gaming. That was what 2016 when PS4 Pro came out. That's almost 10 years old. And there's Nintendo still, unfortunately, they're not gonna have 4K. I don't think the hardware would be there. I don't even think the hardware's there for a $400 handheld. Like this, I don't think the Steam Deck can do 4K for like intense games or games that have 3D modern graphics. That's just not gonna happen. But maybe they can have for backwards compatibility 1080p 60 FPS across all games. Games that were at 30 FPS on the Switch, they'll run at 60 on the new system. Hopefully, maybe not. Hopefully. Display quality. What is the display? Apparently, it's going to be LCD. This is according to every other rumor that I have seen. It's going to be an LCD screen, and maybe in the future they'll launch with an OLED. What will the resolution be? I would say it's going to be above 720, but is it going to be 1080? Maybe, maybe. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. I think it's gonna be like the Steam Deck. It'll be around 800p, maybe a 900p screen. It won't be a full 1080. It'll just be something in between 1080 and 720. It'll be LCD. I'm sure it'll look good even as an LCD. It's gonna be 8-inch screen. It's not gonna be full 1080 though. It's gonna be LCD, maybe above 720, but not full 1080. Also, 1080 is not good for. It's good for a portable screen in terms of looks, but that's going to put a lot of strain on the system and that affects battery life. So I don't think they would want to go for a full 1080 portable because then your battery life, the higher the resolution is, the lower the battery life is. So I don't think a full 1080 just doesn't really make much sense. For battery life, I would say it's probably going to be the same as the current Switch and the OLED. Maybe it'll be an hour or two less because, the, well, excuse me. The more higher spec hardware will require more energy, and I don't know how expensive it would be to put in a battery that can provide the same battery life. So maybe they'll skimp out on the battery just a little bit, and it'll be just a little bit, it'll be more like the launch Switch because I know there's the new Switch that has like plus 3 hours of battery life that came out in like what 2019. The red box Switch, that one has like the extra battery life. Maybe it'll be closer to the launch Switch battery life. It won't be the current Switch models, it won't have that much battery. But for storage, 128 gigs, Nintendo has always done the minimum when it comes to storage. It's always been horrendously low. I mean, think about it. The current Switch still has the 32 gigabytes. 32 gigabytes. Not even phones have that. That's just horribly low. I don't even know. You have to get an SD card. You just have to get an SD card. And that's been a trend with all these game consoles, even but the PS4 just got the 1 terabyte update, but 1 terabyte really isn't even that much these days with some of these games. If you have like more than 5 games, your hard drive's gonna get full, just over 5 games. The PS4 has like enough storage right now. PS4, PS5 has enough storage right now for like the light user, but if you're a real gamer and you download a lot of games, you know that 800 gigs is not enough, or even for that 1 terabyte model they just came out with, that's still barely enough. Same thing with the Xbox Series S, 512 gigs. For an all digital system, half a terabyte for next gen games, that's pretty minimal. The Series X has the full terabyte. Even then, that's questionable for like. I mean, if you've had a Series S for a while and you download a lot of games, you probably ran out of storage. Okay, maybe a terabyte's enough. I don't know. But when it comes to Switch, Nintendo always does the minimum, and the OLED has 64. and they're gonna try to keep the price down as much as possible because they have to upgrade the specs, the screen, the controller, blah blah blah. They're not gonna want to put as much money in having high storage out of the box. They're gonna want you to get an SD card. They're gonna want you to get one of their special Nintendo brand SD card, with the freaking mushroom sticker on it or whatever. So because I'm sure they get like licensing from that. They're not gonna give you that much out of the box storage. They're gonna give you the minimum. It's gonna be 128. Except maybe, no, not even maybe. No, it's just gonna be 128. That sucks. It's unfortunate. Maybe if we're really, really lucky, they'll give 256. But I highly doubt that because I don't even think, even if they could afford to make a system that's $400 and has all the other spec upgrades and it has 256 gigs, I still think they would just give you 128 because they want you to buy an SD card. They just do. And and what else? What else? What were you gonna say, huh? However, there's one little thing I think this could happen. Nintendo could pull a Microsoft and they could have two models of the Switch at launch. Maybe. The regular model will be the $400 model, and the only differences will be the storage and the screen. It'll be the LCD with 128 gigabytes. Maybe they'll do like the Switch OLED model at launch, and that one will probably be $500, but it will give you an OLED screen and it will give you 256 gigabytes. It'll give you double the storage and a better screen, and it'll be $100 more. Maybe. I don't think so. There's been no rumors that have indicated this. This is just an idea. It's something they could do. They could launch and have, yeah, they could just have like a deluxe package model. It comes with a case. Maybe it comes with a game, like the Wii U Deluxe bundle. Maybe it'll be like that. Yeah, and maybe it'll come with a game, a case. It'll have the OLED screen at launch, and it'll have 256 gigs at launch. $500. Unlikely. No rumors have indicated this, but it's possible. That's pretty much all my predictions. I want to come back to this and when it actually comes out, and I'll see how many predictions I got right. I think I have a couple things right here. A couple things are off. A couple things are far-fetched. Oh, wait. I can keep going. Launch games. What are they gonna launch with? They're gonna launch with. Here's the thing. It's a coin toss. Are they gonna launch with a new Mario Kart, or are they gonna launch with a new 3D Mario? Because Mario's 40th anniversary is next year. It's 2025. It's gonna be 40 years since the first Mario on the NES. So would they want to save 3D Mario for the anniversary, or would they want to save Mario Kart for the anniversary? I don't think they'll do both in the same year. I think they're gonna launch with one of those two. And apparently there's this rumor of a Mario Kart Cross that'll be Mario Kart, the 10th Mario Kart game, and that'll have like it'll basically be the idea of Super Nintendo Kart, where a bunch of Nintendo characters come in the Mario world, and you'll have like Kirby and Link and um the Inklings from Splatoon will come back, the villagers will come back from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it'll just be a whole bunch of Nintendo characters in Mario Kart. That's a possibility that that game could be the launch game, or they could save it for next year, or they could launch just whatever the next 3D Mario is. Of also Metroid Prime 4. When Metroid Prime 4 was announced in 2017, right? That game's been 7 years in the waiting, so I think they're definitely saving it for an upcoming, maybe not a direct, maybe not that first trailer. Maybe in that first trailer, that first reveal trailer for the next Switch, they'll show like a little bit of footage of the next Metroid game, and it'll be like Samus walking around somewhere shooting some aliens, and it'll be like a teaser of like, oh look, that's a little bit of footage of Metroid Prime 4. You weren't expecting that, right? But it's not gonna say Metroid Prime 4. It's just gonna be like random footage. Maybe in June, in that June presentation, when they go into detail, that's when they'll announce that is when they'll announce games, and they'll probably announce, hey, Metroid Prime 4 is going to be there day one, and that'll be their way to push Metroid. Because Metroid's never the best-selling Metroid game is Metroid Dread at about 3 million. Compare that to Zelda, which Breath of the Wild has like 10 times that many sales. So Metroid's never been that popular, and given how much work Nintendo has put into this game, with the whole they had to restart development, and they've been working on it for 7 years, and all that, they're probably going to want to push this game real hard, and having this game as a crazy launch title, check out this game, not a lot of people have played it. For a lot of people, it'll be a brand new thing to see Metroid. So if they can show that off, it'll be a great graphical showcase. Game in space. If it has good graphics, it'll be a great graphical showcase, and it'll be a very good time to market a franchise that hasn't gotten a lot of popularity over the years. That'd be just a very convenient situation for them. Um, so I definitely think they're gonna launch with Metroid Prime 4. It'll come out if they don't have a day one for whatever reason, it'll be within the first month, maybe. It would be weird if they didn't have a day one. I definitely think this is like Metroid's time to shine as a franchise. They're gonna really push it forward with Metroid Prime 4 for the Switch 2. Get it day one. It's the cool brand new Metroid game. And that'll be like look at Animal Crossing, the second best selling Animal Crossing game versus Animal Crossing New Horizons. Like when New Horizons came out, that really pushed Animal Crossing to like new heights in terms of popularity, in terms of game sales. I think they're gonna try to do the same thing here with Metroid. So Metroid Prime 4, Mario game, maybe it's Mario Kart, maybe it's 3D Mario. Are they gonna have a new Zelda game? Probably not, because what's it called? Tears of the Kingdom just came out last year, and it really hasn't been that long. It could be ages before we get a new Zelda game, actually. If you look at the Wii launched with Twilight Princess, and then the Wii had Skyward Sword right at the end in 2011. Then the Wii U launched, and that one had Hyrule Warriors, but they never actually did like a full Zelda game, like a AAA flagship Zelda game until Breath of the Wild. But then that really ended up just being a Switch game. So I would count Zelda out. They're not gonna have a Zelda game for the next Switch. Maybe it'll be like a small game, like a Link Between Worlds, but I don't think they're gonna headline the next Switch with Zelda. They're gonna headline with Metroid and Mario. Because every game has to have Mario. Another thing with Mario, it's been like 7 years since Odyssey came out, so they're gonna want to have a new Mario game. The hype's been building for the next 3D Mario. What other games are they gonna launch with? Smash, maybe? No, it would be cool if they could launch with Smash. No, I'm gonna say no to that. Actually, no. I'm gonna say no to that. Maybe they could launch with Smash. I don't know. If they had like Smash Ultimate, if you know what they could have, Smash Ultimate Definitive Edition. And it's basically just Smash Ultimate, but it comes with all the DLC, and that's like $60. Maybe it has like one new character, two new stages, like kind of like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but Smash Bros. Just to get you to buy it again. But then again, if it has backwards compatibility, how are they going to do that? That doesn't really make sense. Scrap that one. I don't know. Okay, I was interrupted. Anyways, I was talking about third party. Who's going to be there day one? Who's going to be there in the first year? Oh, of course we know Call of Duty. Call of Duty's coming to Switch. They signed a 10-year deal. So Nintendo's gonna be getting COD. That's gonna be pretty big. They skipping out on the Switch is something I think they regret, Activision. So expect to see COD, of course. Who else though? Who else? Who else? Bandai Namco, I'm thinking, given their relationship with Nintendo. It's surprising given that there's no Tekken on Switch, but I would say possibly Tekken 8, maybe. Street Fighter 6, that one seems a pretty easy guess. The PS4 version runs at 60 FPS on normal mode, so getting it to run on the new Switch, assuming it's gonna have those PS4 specs, it should work. Um, Anyone else? We know they're from Ubisoft. There's probably going to be some deluxe version of Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope because apparently that game didn't do very well, or it's not doing well on the current Switch, so they're probably going to do some kind of like deluxe re-release. Or maybe they'll do a double pack where it has the first Mario plus Rabbids game and the second one together as one package just to get sales for the second one. And that'll have like all the DLC. It'll just be like a deluxe double pack. That's something they could do. For other third parties, maybe from Rockstar GTA 5. Because GTA 5 is still the current GTA and GTA 6 won't be out for a while. So having GTA 5 on the new Switch for the end of this year and like all of next year, that would be pretty good. I think that if they want to, they could do it. Will it be equal content wise with the current GTA 5 on current platforms? Maybe I don't know. But GTA 5 could be there. We have the GTA trilogy on the current Switch, but that doesn't run very well. Hopefully, the GTA trilogy actually runs well on Switch. Uh, Other third parties. Who else? Let me see. Oh, of course, every Microsoft game is probably going to be on Switch too, given that apparently Microsoft is just quitting having exclusives. They just don't care about exclusives anymore, and they're just going to put everything on every console now. So yeah, Microsoft is probably they're probably going to be a headline partner. Like Nintendo's going to have this banner and they're going to be like, look at all these partners we have for the early Switch launch, and you're going to see Microsoft Game Studios there, just Xbox Game Studios, all the games. It's Starfield, Starfield. They could headline with Starfield. I mean, Microsoft is they're just apparently they're just so giving up on exclusives, so that's in there at this point. And there's already a bunch of Microsoft games that are, Microsoft owns them and they're on Switch or they're on PlayStation. And apparently Starfield is supposed to come to PlayStation. That's a rumor. Is that a rumor? No, no. Actually no. I don't think that was a rumor. Anyone else? Maybe if not Tekken 8, we could get Tekken 7 because that one runs on older stuff. Maybe just to have a Tekken game on the Switch. Oh, Dragon. Speaking of Bandai Namco, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I don't think that one has had a Switch trailer yet, but there's a possibility it could be on Switch too. There's a probability. It's a high probability that it's going to be on Switch too. Maybe Red Dead 2 for the Switch too from Rockstar. Um, that could be a thing. What else? What are some other games that have just like come out? I imagine there's got probably gonna be a lot of ports, like how there was Doom 2016. That was pretty big when the Switch came out. So games from the last year or two that have been pretty big, like Elden Ring. There'll probably be a Switch 2 version of Elden Ring. That's another Bandai Namco published game, right? Probably be a Switch 2 version of Elden Ring. Final Fantasy 7 remake. That could be on Switch 2. That's another one that's from Square. Um, Are these all going to be there day one? Maybe not all at once, but within that first year, you could expect these. Cyberpunk? Cyberpunk could be that would be big. Cyberpunk would be pretty big for Switch 2. To just even to have that in the first year, if it's not at launch, to have that in the first year, that'd be pretty big. We could have other Final Fantasy games, maybe Final Fantasy 14. That one's coming to Xbox, right? I think that's coming to Xbox, or it's already on Xbox. That would be pretty big on Switch. Let's see what else. Yeah, Elden Ring. Um, what else could we expect? Okay. Hmm. What other games could there be? Let's see. Let's think of like what was game of the year last year? Why am I blanking on this? Game of the year last year was freaking Baldur's Gate. Oh, Baldur's Gate 3. Eh, no, because that didn't even come out on last gen systems. Maybe no. Baldur's Gate 3? No way, they couldn't do that. I don't think so. I don't think so. That one's like that's a far reach if they could do it. Because I know Baldur's Gate 3, they had the thing with the Series S version not having the multiplayer, so that was barely running on Series S. So Baldur's Gate 3, maybe not. Maybe that's a more of a stretch. Trying to think of other. I mean, I'm just throwing anything at the wall at this point. But what would I think is really likely? We know Call of Duty. Are they gonna have a day one COD like the same year or like the day the Switch comes out? Maybe not. But like within the year, have COD. I imagine Dragon Ball Sparking Zero will be there at launch. Maybe some of the Yakuza games from Sega. Are those on Switch? Maybe some of the newer ones will get on Switch too. Elden Ring, I think that would be pretty big. Cyberpunk, that would be big. I don't know if those are likely, but those are like you would want that. So these aren't really predictions at this point. This is just me like throwing stuff at the wall. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens when they announce it. Okay, somehow I managed to ramble for like over 30 minutes. So if you listen to all that, if you made it here and you've listened to it all, thanks. First of all, thanks, yeah. Congratulations. You should, you know what? Reward yourself. Reward yourself. Do something kind to yourself today. I don't know, have a cookie, go outside, go touch some grass, go enjoy life. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully, let's see how many things I got right. I'll come back and I'll review in the future. I'll say, oh, in this video I said this, and then this came true, and this didn't. If I get right, if I get everything right, then somebody should give me $1 million. Yeah, that's my. No, nobody's gonna give me $1 million. But you know what? Just let's just pretend. Let's just pretend. Let's pretend I got everything right, and I'm gonna get $1 million. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, you know what? If you made it to the end, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and peace out. Peace. Peace.